We've got another relegated team in the Prem, and Harry Kane is a winner. Yes.
The race for the Scudetto is blown wide open, and Barca, they just always seem to find a way to get it done. But all this and more in this episode 61 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. Snooze, kick us off.
Let's dig in. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we're here with the half fam. I wouldn't say it's the full fam. We got Danny P on the ones and twos, and of course, everyone's favorite hype man, Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm sipping on right now. This is one of the limited edition bottles of. Almost dropped it. Geez, Jack Daniel's 10. I got the call from Specs. Let me know that was ready for me to pick up. I got the hookup like that. And also, Ray, if you're watching, you didn't get it. I'm just kidding. No, I'll give him crap because we did talk about it. How I got a call and he's like, "What do you think? Should I head over there?" I'm like, "Nah, it's a call list item, bro. You gotta be on the list." You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I mean, it's Jack Daniels. Like, I've had plenty of Jack and Cokes in my day, so I don't understand.
Yes, you might have had a Jack and Coke, but you didn't have a Jack 10 and a Coke.
Oh, okay.
You just had that number 7 recipe, the Jack's number 7.
You're 3 more recipes above that.
At least minimum.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, huge banana flavor, huge banana smell. It's like
you love huge bananas.
It's like, I can't even top that. Yeah, huge bananas.
And make sure you like and subscribe while he's sipping that.
Cheers to the liking and subscribing.
Yes, there you go. And before we jump in, let's talk about what we're going to cover today. We have a few things. Of course, we have an Austin FC match to cover. We have Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, and the Prem all had matches this weekend, and a lot of interesting matches, a lot of good things going on. And some of the tables are starting to solidify, Vic. I know we've had some that are already solidified, but like in the Prem, we have another team relegated. And Bundesliga looks like the title race could be called anytime soon. And in Serie A, it was blown wide open, as you mentioned. So, man, I'm excited to get into it. But before we go to Europe, let's go boots on the ground in Austin, Texas for the Austin FC Minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm wearing green again. You know what that means. ATX got a win this past weekend. We beat the LA Galaxy at home in an afternoon game, 12:45, 1-0.
Weird.
It was, yeah, exactly. Because I think we've only had like 3 afternoon games, and 2 of them have been this year. It's pretty weird at home.
Pretty
anyway.
Nice.
But yeah, it was great weather. It was a little bit windy, but we did get a 1-0 win with the man of the match being Danny Pereira. It's his first one in 4 years that we've been playing. And he kind of joked at it because he was getting questioned afterwards. Yeah. And they were like, "How do you feel, man of the man?" She's like, "Yeah, after 4 years, finally." So yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Not only that, Owen Wolf made team of the match day for MLS. He's the one on the bench, but he had a great performance. He's had such solid performances this entire year that it's just, it's kind of what we expect of him now. But it's good to see him get recognition throughout the league. Yep, baby
Wolfie.
Wolf.
Cool.
Not only that, the goal came from a cross from Jan Komanic. I don't know if it's a Z, but it's Jan Komanic into the box, took a little deflection, and our boy Brandon Vasquez, the $10 million man, put it in the back of the net. Mm-hmm. It was an exciting game. It was a fun game, and it was early enough for us to go and watch WrestleMania the rest of the day.
Stop it. Stop it. You know how, millennials, we love to day drink, apparently. I saw that somewhere. So perfect for the day games. Except you can't do it in the summer. So let's knock them out in the spring, I'm cool with that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That was it. That's it for Austin.
Well, yeah, good times. 3 points. Moving on. Oh, also, I was handling the TikToks over there. And Austin FC liked my comment. So that was pretty cool.
There you go. Yeah, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Austin FC, if y'all want to sponsor us, go ahead.
Yes. No Business Soccer Podcast, Austin FC. They're we're connecting, we're merging, collabing, as people say.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump into it then. I think we should begin like we always do in Italy. Let's let you finish.
Let's do it. To Serie A.
And because of the Easter holiday, we didn't even mention that. Happy Easter, everybody. If you were
yes.
celebrating this weekend, hope you had a great time with your friends and family. And you'll notice that there's not a lot of Friday games because of the Easter holiday. So we start off in Serie A on Saturday. And now this was the Como side we all want to see. They get a 3-0 road win over Lecce, and they do it in style with Diao getting a brace, Paz getting assist, and what a smooth assist it was. Napoli do what they do and grind out wins against inferior opponents. They get a standard 1-0 win in Monza, and it turned out to be a massive W for them because of something we'll tell you about in just a moment. And it wasn't pretty, but Roma won't care. They get a 1-0 win over Verona, and I guess like the wise men say, points is points, Vic. Who cares if it's pretty or not? On Sunday, Empoli and Venezia draw 2-2, and the result does nothing for either of them. Well, they both did gain a point on the Milkmen, who are right outside of the cusp of being relegated. Venezia seemed like they were cruising to 3 points, though, and before a late goal from Empoli splits the points. Heartbreaker, really. Buzio gets on the score sheet for ended up being the last goal that Venezia got, but, we thought it was going to be the winner. Bologna just blew the title race wide open, and we'll talk about that more in a second. They get a 1-0 win over Inter. Atalanta continue to wash the taste of those 3 straight defeats out of their mouths, this time with a 1-0 win over Atalanta at San Siro. That's back-to-back wins for Atalanta, and they continue to fight for that top 4 spot. Vic, where does that leave us in the table? And if you notice, there's some games that haven't happened yet. They were supposed to happen today, but obviously with the Pope's passing in the Vatican, Rome, all of the games have been postponed until Wednesday. So, okay, Vic, let's go to the table.
Yeah, and taking a look at the table, are you not entertained? We have a tie up top in number 1 and number 2. Inter Milan, of course, in the number 1 spot with that 40 goal differential. Pretty insane. Napoli in the number 2 spot with the 27 goal differential. Both have 71 points, and man, this is going to be fun going down the stretch. Atalanta, like we just talked about earlier, getting the W. They're in the number 3 spot. They're 7 points behind them, so they're a little bit behind, but crazier things have happened. They have 64 points. And then rounding out our top 4 is Bologna, like you were talking about earlier. They have 60 points, just 4 points behind Atalanta. And things are getting really interesting because tickling our top 4 is Juventus with 59 points, just 1 point behind Bologna. Mm-hmm. And then also fighting for a Europa League spot is Roma, who we wrote off a long time ago. They are now in the number 6 spot with 57 points, and they haven't lost at least 6 games, which you can see there. Pretty good turnaround for them, and it's good to see them up there again, above our Lazio. But what can you do?
Anfield and Tina, they're cruising up the table.
Yeah, they're looking good. And not getting any cruise at all is Venezia. They have the 18th spot, been there for a while, fighting, trying to get out of relegation. And they've only have 1 loss the past 6 matches, which is pretty impressive from what they started out with. They have 25 points, still in the relegation zone. They are also tied with Empoli. Empoli are in the 19th spot with 25 points as well. And then Monza holding up the rest of the table. Again, a solid foundation for Serie A. They have 15 measly points. And anything you want to call out on this table before we move on there, Snooze?
No, you said it all. That title race is going to be fun.
Yep.
I mean, can't get any better than this, right? I did read something. I read the way that a tie is taken. For instance, if Serie A ends today, they're both tied on points. Usually, like in the Premier, it goes on goal differential, right? They don't do that in Serie A. They actually, the goal differential puts them in a home match. They do a 1-game playoff or a 1-game championship, essentially. And whoever has the better goal differential gets the home advantage. That's pretty dope. I never knew that. I'm actually rooting for that. That'd be really cool.
That. Settle it on the pitch. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just look out for that. I read that. And of course, if this is wrong, let me know. But it was something I was reading online. I think I saw a tweet come out from a credible source, of course. But yeah, that would be pretty dope if that happened.
That's badass. So we take a look at that. The top 1 and 2 are now tied, and then Bologna keeping their 4th spot because they beat the number 1 team, Inter Milan. Tell us a little bit about that match they had there, Snooze.
Oh man, that match, it was crazy. It was honestly very surprising to see how it turned out. And all I can say is, wow, what a win for Bologna. It seemed like they were destined. Not everybody just saw this being a 0-0 draw, but Bologna put the pressure on late. They kept putting in attack after attack, and they get it done. And it's all thanks to Riccardo Orsolini and his ridiculous stoppage time volley. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, folks. It's insane. Inter have the talent. We all know that. But what Bologna seemed to have on that Easter Sunday was more heart, the more will to win. They kept pushing late when it seemed like Inter were okay with the draw, and they end up getting it. They end up getting the win because of it. And I mean, hell, even their manager and Victor's Italian alter ego, Vincenzo Italiano, was fired up out there. He gets sent off for popping off at the Inter coaches. They were talking to the refs, and he ran up there and was like, "Hey, y'all back up." And I guess he ended up saying something he shouldn't have because he got sent off for it. And really, I think the whole match can be boiled down to the heart that I was talking about in one play, and it was in the 82nd minute when Inter has they have a long throw in, and it's missed by the keeper. Keeper comes up to get it, straight up misses it. The ball hits the post, bounces back into play, and Inter's player Taremi, he's the first to it. I mean, he's right there, and he hits it. It's open goal. There's no one there. The ball's going in, but Juan Miranda sprints with him, stays in his pocket the entire time, throws his body out at the last second, and deflects the ball, saves the goal, a surefire goal for sure. And a few minutes later, you know how it ends. They get a goal and they get a win. That's the type of stuff you like to see in these teams. And I know I should talk about Inter more since they could still win the Scudetto and even be in the or even win the Champions League. But man, the way that Bologna played on Sunday, it was just amazing to see. And I mean, yeah, that's what the sport's about right there. The heart, it was just like everything, the occasion and the way that everything fell into place. Yeah, it was a great game. More intensity than anything because again, it was 0-0 until like literally the last kick of the game. But still, amazing game to watch, and that's what it's all about, folks. Yeah, Vic.
That's right. Playing for the shield, man. I like that. I was
just about to say, I don't know if you've seen the highlights yet, but if you haven't, you will get a raging boner for this defensive block because I mean it was insane. It was like the goal was awesome, but that guy Juan Miranda did his work and it was amazing. So
yeah,
okay. I'll stop gushing over these guys.
No, it's good. I like it. I'll have to go take a look. And then you promised me, so I'll let you know.
Okay, we'll just move off of that one.
Well, right. Go on. What's next, Zeus?
Yes, let's move on to let's go to Spain.
Let's do it to La Liga. Smooth. We're getting too comfortable in here. We're sharing.
I know.
Getting too comfortable in here.
All right, Friday. Everything got kicked off in La Liga. On Friday, Espanyol get a 1-0 win at home against Getafe. With that win, they have essentially sealed their La Liga safety, and they're the only team in La Liga with 3 straight wins. Not even their mortal enemies, Barca, have that many right now in a row anyways, and that's crazy. On Saturday, Valencia's road struggles continue as they draw 1-1 with Rayo. Rayo controlled this match throughout, and Valencia's goal came against the run of play, but points is points, as wise men say. Oh, that rhymes. You hear that? Valencia, though, like I was saying, the road struggles continue. They're now 1 win. They now have 1 win, 8 draws, and 7 losses on the road this season. That is terrible form. But you know, they got a draw, so that's fine. Barcelona and Celta Vigo put on a show. It ends 4-3 to Barca, but Celta Vigo did enough to deserve a point from this match, with Borja Iglesias getting a hat trick. But Dani Olmo came on and he changed the game from the moment he stepped on the pitch. He drew the foul and got the stoppage time penalty that Rafinha buried because, of course, he is. The soccer gods are cool, man. It looked like this should have been a draw, but Barca get it done. Mallorca and Leganés go 0-0, and I tell you who was glad for Barca getting the winner, because Mallorca they're right on Celta's heels, and if Celta would have gotten some points for that, they would be a little bit further down, but. Man, Mallorca, they are just in a terrible slump right now. 0-0 with one of the worst teams. That's harsh. Anyway, moving
Speaking
on.
Speaking of one of the worst teams.
Yeah. Las Palmas get a 1-0 win over Atleti to make it back-to-back wins and bring themselves above the relegation zone in the process, as we discussed on the preview. Doesn't look good for Atleti, though. They're not winning the league. They're pretty much lock for Champions League next season. So it's not a big blow for them, but it just doesn't look good for them. And Las Palmas, man, we didn't know if it could be done. They were at the bottom not too long ago, and now they are outside of the relegation zone, looking to stay in La Liga and not go down. I was just thinking in my head right there. Wait, I remember we talked about a month ago because they're coming to San Antonio soon. I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be San Antonio's a second division team, and so is Las Palmas.
Yeah.
And now it's they changed. They heard me. They heard me talking mess. Okay. On Sunday, Osasuna get a 3-2 win over Valladolid, and Ante Budimir gets a brace in the process. It might not be much to play for in the league, but let's finish on a strong suit, Osasuna. Let's get it done. Villarreal and Real Sociedad split the points in a 2-2 draw, but Villarreal should have won this match and had 3 goals disallowed in the second half alone. Some of them were a little sketchy too. Lucky for them, though, the rest of the teams around them didn't fare so well either, as Vic will show us here in just a moment. Sevilla draw 1-1 with Alaves, and their struggles continue. Luca Bacchio had at least 2 clear chances to put them ahead, but they just couldn't finish and couldn't get it done. Real Madrid get a 1-0 win at the freaking death over Athletic Club. More on this one in a second. And then today, on Monday, Betis get a 3-1 win over Girona, and Betis are flying right now. Okay, Vic, where does that leave us in the table after Matchday 32, sir?
Yes, sir. Well, stop me if you've heard it before. Barcelona are still number 1. They have 73 points, followed by Real Madrid, who have 69 points. Nice. Atletico Madrid are in the 3rd spot. They have 63 points. Atletico Madrid and Athletic Club both got losses. Did not help their case to try to win this league, or at least fight to win this league, because now the gap is 6 points between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. So slipping away there, you guys. Let's try to get it together. And again, Athletic Club now have 57 points there in the number 4 spot. And then rounding out our top 5 is Villarreal with 52 points. And then tickling our top 5, they will not go away. Real Betis now at 51 points. And then again, in the number 6 spot, just 1 point behind Villarreal, trying to leapfrog them, getting those Champions League spots. And then, of course, fighting for Europa spot as well is Mallorca. They just had a draw. They have 44 points now. They're clear. That's clear 7 points behind Real Betis. I don't think they're ever going to leapfrog them, so they're hoping for that extra Europa League spot playoff. I think it's playoff, right? Is that what it is? I don't remember what it is. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Okay. But take a look at the bottom of the table. Like we said, Las Palmas is not on there. They're in the 17th spot. But Deportivo Alaves is the first team relegated. If the season ended today, they are in the 18th spot with 31 points. Leganés are in the 19th spot with 29 points. And then, holy guacamole, my Volidolis, Real Valladolid, 6 straight losses at least. I'm pretty sure it's more than that. They have 16 points, somehow still not mathematically relegated. But they have a negative 53 goal differential.
They're basically there. They're pretty much there.
They're trying very hard. And negative 53 goal differential, not looking good. They're holding up the rest of the table. Snooze, anything on the table you want to call out?
Not the table, sir, but I do want to call out that there is a midweek madness. They don't because there's the what's it called in Spain? The Copa del Rey final, I think is what it is. So they don't have matches this weekend. But they do have matches, a midweek match that's on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So whenever we have our Thursday show, we'll have another recap, but we don't have a preview for those matches. So we'll talk about everything that goes down.
All right. Well, then we'll go ahead and move on. We have Real Madrid and Athletic Club win at it this past weekend. Tell us a little bit more about how Real Madrid were able to get the win.
Yeah, this match, I was really looking forward to it. I thought it'd be very much like a team going after it, other team going after it, both teams going crazy, goals everywhere, and it just was not what I expected. Basically, Athletic Club, they had, if I remember correctly, they changed 10 people from the Europa League match that they had in midweek last week. So think about that. 10 of their 11 starters were rotated for this match. And they pretty much just sat back and absorbed pressure the entire match, and they almost got it done. And I'll say, even though the match was scoreless through 93 minutes, it still had a hell of a finish because Real Madrid dominated this match. 22 shots, 7 on target. Let me say that a little slower. 22 shots, and 7 of them were on target compared to Athletic's 3 shots and 1 on target. I mean, they dominated this one. 74% percent possession for Madrid. And if Bellingham would have been able to be a little bit sharper in front of goal, this could have easily been a 3-4 goal win for Real Madrid. But Bellingham missed those chances, and Vinny Jr. had a goal called off, and it just seemed like it was a 0-0 in the making. But Valverde said, we don't do that in the Bernabeu. We don't do that here. And he puts his foot through a ball at the top of the box, hits it perfectly off the volley, and the goal side view of it shows it with a bend and the power. I mean, it is beautiful. Like it is what do they say? Art in motion. You just got to go check it out. Yeah, definitely one that's going to get Vic bricked up over there. And it seemed like Athletic Club were hoping to get a point out of this when they came in trying to just basically put the absorb the pressure and get out with a point. But they were so close. They were really close to getting it done. Obviously, it was a stoppage time winner. But still, man, it is just it seemed weird. Like I don't know why they put all their eggs in one basket whenever they're still like if they don't win the Europa League, then they don't get a spot in the Champions League because they didn't win it, right? But they're in the top 4 in La Liga right now. So why wouldn't you just I don't know. It just seems like they're kind of going all in on the Europa League, which maybe it works out for them, but it was a weird way that they handled this match. And you definitely don't like to see it. But if it works for them, we'll find out at the end of the season, Vic. It's kind of like Arsenal. They were dropping points in the league like crazy because they were, thought they wouldn't get to the title, which they won't. But now, who's laughing? They beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. I'm guessing Athletic Club are hoping for more of the same.
Yeah, they look pretty good doing it too. And yeah, let's see what the rest of the season turns out. It's getting real interesting, spicy. Can't wait.
Oh, spicy. Okay. Yeah.
Spicy.
And yeah, I was looking at the midweek match day. Let's see some notes, matches of note, because we're not doing a preview of it. It looks like we have a lot of teams at the tops going against teams at the bottom because there's not a very fun match day. Valencia and Espanyol with the 3 wins in a row, as we were just talking about. Valencia still needing to get that win. Real Madrid Getafe might be fun. Yeah, not too much else. It's kind of just a mundane one, but maybe we'll get some bangers from it. Okay, that's it for La Liga. Vic, let's go on to Germany.
Let's do it then to Bundesliga.
Yes. And the Bundesliga, like Serie A, did not have a Friday match. So things got kicked off. They popped off, if you will. On Saturday, Bremen make it 4 wins in a row with their 1-0 win over Bochum. This also means that Bochum have now lost 5 straight Bundesliga matches, which is just not a good time to do that. Mainz can't catch a break as they draw 2-2 with Wolfsburg after dominating the bulk of the game. Wolfsburg fight back to get the equalizer in the 89th minute to stop their losing streak at 4. Bayern get a 4-0 win and might have just won the Bundesliga title as well. And all of that means, my boy Vic, hype man Vic, is Harry Kane is finally a freaking winner. My boy's going to get a trophy. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him, man. Go ahead, Kane. Go ahead, Harry Kane. Go get it.
Okay. Leipzig split the points in a 1-1 draw with Kiel, but they could easily have lost this match 3 or 4-1 with a little bit more luck for Kiel. They've not been impressive this season. Leipzig, I mean, I know they're usually this is an outlier season for them as far as how bad it's gone or how bad they've looked, but still, it's not promising for me seeing like, oh yeah, I want this team to represent the Bundesliga and the Champions League next year. I just don't see it. Freiburg get a 3-2 home win over Hoffenheim and look good in the process. All the goals were smooth, but the first one was, as the commentator said, fine, free-flowing Freiburg fiesta. Yeah, they looked really good. I think they call them the Brazilians of whatever area they're in Germany. And yeah, they were playing just like that. It was really pretty. It was really good to see. Fun to watch too. I haven't seen them play like that a lot though, so it's weird that they have a Brazilian nickname, even though they don't play like that all the time. Anyway, who am I to judge them? All right. Union Berlin and Stuttgart draw 4-4. And Vic, this one was crazy AF. I was going to just say it, but, AF does it too. All 8 goals, Vic, happened in the first half. And there were 7 different goal scorers. There were some bangers in there as well. But, yeah, you don't need to watch the second half if you're going to watch these goals. Just watch the first half. You'll be all right. On Sunday, Augsburg and Eintracht Frankfurt go 0-0. Dortmund get a 3-2 win over Gladbach, and they are starting to click for the final run towards the end of the season. And after all the things that Dortmund have been through this season, all the turmoil, they still might be sneaking into Europe. That's crazy. St. Pauli and Leverkusen in 1-1, and this just might have sealed two things, Vic. First, St. Pauli safety for the season. Second, Leverkusen, they pretty much lost the title with this one. So, let's check out the table, though, Vic. Where does it leave us after match day 30?
Yeah, well, Bayern Munich are still dominant. They have 72 points. And like you say, maybe that Bayer Leverkusen draw did cost them the title because they are 8 points clear of them, or clear behind them with 64 points in the number 2 spot. Eintracht Frankfurt have the number 3 spot, but they are 12 points behind Bayer Leverkusen. Huge gaps going on at the top of the table here. They have 52 points. That last draw that they had last week did not help at all. RB Leipzig round out our top 4. They have 49 points. And then tickling our top 4 now is Freiburg. As you said, they just picked up the win. They have 48 points, just 1 point behind Leipzig. And then Mainz, also fighting for that Europa League spot, have 47 points, 1 point behind Freiburg. And it adds to that just traffic jam of a Europa League / last 2 Champions League spots traffic jam that there is there. 49 points is RB Leipzig. They have in the number 4 spot. 5 points gets you the number 9 spot for Borussia Mönchengladbach. And yeah, if you go one more, just 6 points, you have Augsburg there in the 10th spot. So 6 points separate 4th through 10th, and yeah, gonna be fun to watch. Of course, we've been saying it for a while, but we cannot emphasize it enough. Gonna be so fun to watch the rest of the season. Not so fun to watch at the bottom of the table is Bochum, like we just talked about earlier. They got another loss, keeping them in the 17th spot. They have 20 points. Hosting Kiel, holding up the rest of the table. Again, a solid foundation, but for the Bundesliga this time with 19 measly points. Anything you want to call out on this one here while we before we go on?
No, sir. Nothing to call out.
All right. Well, we did have some interesting matchups this weekend. I don't know. We didn't have a really we didn't have a single game, highlighted. But what did you want to point out to us this past weekend?
In the Bundesliga this weekend, the one thing that stuck out was how crazy some of the games became. And I don't know if it was just like a random like one-off, but Freiburg going 3-2 with Hoffenheim, Union Berlin and Stuttgart going 4-4, Dortmund going 3-2 with Gladbach, Wolfsburg and Mainz, it's 2-2. There's just a lot of goals, not a lot of defense, but a lot of the matches, we need to get some clarity on the table and what's going on with it, and I think we're starting to get that. Obviously, that you saw the mid-table, it's kind of crazy all the way up through that 4th or 5th spot, Vic. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to find out how that turns out. But the one match in particular was that crazy Stuttgart Union Berlin match. 8 goals in the first freaking half. That I don't know if I've ever seen that before. 7 different goal scorers, and I mean, I want to say for sure that the first it was either the first or the second Stuttgart goal. Oh, it was the first one because it was Undav. Was ridiculous. It kind of like he hit it so clean that I thought it was like everything wasn't real. It just seemed like that's not going to stand, right? But no, it did. And Union had a few in there as well. It was just a fun match to watch. If you're a mutual, obviously, I kind of tend to lean towards Stuttgart, but they just had a terrible season and can't seem to catch a break. And then, of course, Dortmund, what they're doing, like we were just talking about, the fact that they might actually get into not just Europe and the Conference League, but they might get into the Champions League again would be just insane. It's hard to say because Dortmund, they have a horrible Bundesliga season going on, but they just got to the final of the Champions League last season, and they barely just got knocked out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals this season. So they're obviously one of the better teams in Europe. And so I was thinking about this, like if let's say they miss out on the Champions League, Vic, they would instantly be one of the favorites to win if they got into the Europa League, right?
Yeah,
like
I think so.
They would have to be because the way that they play in the Champions League so well. But anyway, it's just kind of a thought of mine. Like if they were in the Europa League, they'd definitely be one of the favorites. Because I think this year was supposed to be Eintracht, Lazio, well, Spurs and Manchester United are still in there. But yeah, if Dortmund was in there, then hell yeah, they'd be one of the favorites. So
Yeah.
anyway, that was all I was thinking. I was just kind of thinking and looking forward. I mean, we'll have the preview obviously on Thursday, but this coming weekend we have Bayern versus Mainz, so that's going to clarify a couple of those points up there, and Eintracht Frankfurt versus Leipzig, which is massive because if Eintracht lose, Leipzig could jump them if I'm not mistaken. I think it was only a point, right? Maybe two. So, and obviously the other teams are playing as well. So if they win, we might be seeing Eintracht Frankfurt start to fall down that table a little bit. I mean, or Leipzig. I'm not a hater here. Anyway, that was it. I'm just I'm excited how close it is to see some more things moving around.
Yeah, and they're going to need some wins because Freiburg are actually playing Wolfsburg, and Wolfsburg are in terrible form. They have a draw, 4 losses, and another draw. So Freiburg getting 3 points here, they're 51 points. That would put them in the number 4 spot. So they're going to need some points. Everybody else is going to need some points. Mainz is going to need some points, and we're going to shake a lot of things up this next coming up weekend for these match days, and it's going to be pretty fun. And you can hear all about it once we go over these matches and do a preview coming out Friday. That's when the podcast will be coming out. We do record on Thursday, though. And then, of course, we're going to go over all those results and more again next week at this time as we record these on Monday. So please subscribe, subscribe. Best way to see these videos whenever they come out. And we'd love to talk to you guys. Please leave a comment down below as well what you're most excited for.
You're such a professional. All right.
Gotcha.
Well, we're making good time here. I think I've said it all for Bundesliga. Anything else for you, sir?
I'm all good. Ready to go.
Okay. Let's all go to jolly old England.
Let's do it. To the Prem.
Yes, the marching band started. On Saturday, things got kicked off with Brentford, and they add to Brighton's misery with the 4-2 win, leaving Brighton winless in their last 5 Premier League matches. Southampton and West Ham draw 1-1, and now things are starting to look real bad for Graham Potter. Southampton may be the worst team in the Premier League, the worst in history probably. But they failed to beat them at home, and they meaning West Ham. And Graham Potter, I was kind of giving the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, dude, you gotta beat these guys. You gotta win these games. And Everton, they must have thought they were going to get a point from this one. It was 0-0 going into the 84th minute, but City found a way to grind out 2 late goals, and they win it 2-0. And that's just not a good time. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth in 0-0, but we did have players sent off. We did have pants being pulled down, and it's just a good old family time in that match. I don't know if you saw it, but Justin Kluivert, he was like falling, and he got just a handful of crotch and pulled the pants straight down. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Sarr, but it was hilarious. Okay, moving on. Aston Villa dismantled Newcastle 4-1, and it was never really close. We'll talk about this one more in depth in a second. On Sunday, Arsenal make easy work of Ipswich with a 4-0 win. They were up 2-0 before Ipswich had a man sent off, and it was never really in question, but it was basically an easy mode after that. They brought on the boys after it was 2-0 with a red card. Wolves beat Manchester United 1-0 at Old Trafford and secure the Premier League status for next season as a result. Chelsea get a stoppage time winner against Fulham thanks to Neto's filthy half-volley goal. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's insane. He basically pirouettes like a freaking ballerina and hits it perfectly to give Chelsea the 2-1 win and keep their Champions League hopes alive. Liverpool win it late against Leicester 1-0. But the real question coming from this match is, why did TAA celebrate so hard after scoring against the second bottom team? I mean, dude was acting like he just won the Champions League. But good for him. I'm happy for him. Let me do this last one, Vic, and I'll let you comment. On Monday, Forest get a 2-1 road win at Spurs to keep setting the pace for the Champions League places. They needed this 3 points too because the 6 of the top 7 clubs all got 3 points this weekend, as Vic will show us here in just a moment. And it's just a 3-point gap from them in third all the way to 7th. Spurs are now 16th in the table with Europa League glory being the only savior for this season and for Ange's job. Okay, Vic. Why did TAA have to do that? Like, what was up with that guy?
I don't know. We kind of talked about it, and we should have did this on the pod. We did talk about it a little bit earlier while we were getting ready, Danny P was getting ready doing something. But I was saying before the Virgil contract was announced, he scored. He got a header. We came back. He was the goal-winning header, and he grabbed the shield. Oh, I'm not reversed anymore. He grabbed the shield, kissed it, grabbed the red, and kissed it. I was like, oh yeah, he's staying. Yeah, I forgot to say last week. I was like, he's staying. He loves it here. 2-year contract coming in, and then Trent scores the game winner. And yeah, it's very exciting. He probably won the league for us. Like, he got us closer to that. We were gonna win anyway, but got us closer to that. But immediately took off his shirt, and I was like, fuck.
Just ripped it off.
It's gone.
Threw it out.
It's so gone. He didn't do anything.
Symbolism.
Yeah.
Symbolism is crazy.
I was like, oh my God, he's gone. But good on him. He's been a Red all his life. He's more like, if you pay attention to the fan base or anything like that, he's more like the son of the club, and we're not mad at him for going on doing whatever he needs to do. But there's some people that are. But if you're a real Red fan, go do what you need to do, Trent. Get that payday. Go play in Spain like you wanted to. The Liverpool weather sucks. Go somewhere else where it's nice, and enjoy your time. Enjoy your time.
I think we were in the UK for 6-7 days, and we saw the sun like twice. And I don't mean like 2 days. I mean like twice, as in like maybe for an hour, twice. And Spain just seems way better weather. I can't blame the guy.
Exactly.
I would say he was trying to get some Champions League, but neither of those teams are in there right now. No, hey, I'm not talking. I'm just saying that's just how it is.
You're right. Yeah, no,
right.
No.
Next year, maybe Liverpool win it without him. All right. Wow, we're at the end already, Vic. No, we're not.
We still got go through the table.
There we go. I lost my place. All right, well, let's go to the table and see where it is after Matchday 33.
Well, it looks absolutely beautiful because Liverpool are just one win away, or an Arsenal loss coming out this Wednesday, from claiming the Premier League title, being mathematically the Premier League champions. Liverpool are number 1 with 79 points. Arsenal a clear 13 points behind them in the number 2 spot with 66 points. Nottingham Forest in the 3rd spot with 60 points. And then 1 point behind them is Newcastle United with 59 points. And then rounding out our top 5 now, Champions League spots, is Manchester City with 58 points. I was rooting for Everton so bad this past weekend.
But they were almost there.
I know. And then tickling our top 5 is Chelsea in the Europa League spot. For now, anyway, probably scoot down a little bit more. They're in the number 6 spot with 57 points. And if we take a look at the bottom of the table, Ipswich Town, they're in the 18th spot, still not mathematically relegated. They can fight out of it. It will take a miracle, though. They have 21 points, a clear 15 points, behind West Ham United, who are outside the relegation zone. Big gap, going to take a lot to overcome that. And then you have our relegation twins, Leicester City and Southampton, both already mathematically eliminated. I would tell you the points, but it doesn't matter. We will see you in the championship, actually, next year, fellas. Anything on the table that you want to discuss there? Snooze.
I want to discuss how Spurs really run things. And I know I've said it a few times, but Spurs really do run things. Hey, we decided who's the last place in the league by knocking out Southampton when they got relegated. And we're going to decide who wins the Prem because, damn it, we're going to lose to Liverpool. They're going to win the league. We decide this stuff, top and bottom. That's how it goes.
Then you need to make Arsenal win, because if Arsenal lose to Crystal Palace on Wednesday, before the rest of the weekend, we clinch the title.
So it wouldn't even matter. At this point,
I'm rooting for Arsenal.
At this point, I'd rather Spurs just decide both the top and the bottom. That's fine. Make history.
I like it.
And the only other thing I wanted to talk about is how I'd been saying for a few weeks that the Prem was probably the most boring league. And if you look at the table now, those because of Forest dropping a few points and everybody kind of catching up, it's a 3-point gap from 3rd to 7th going into how many more match days? I mean, 5 more match days?
Yeah, 5 more.
We're gonna have a lot of churn, a lot of trees shaking. And man, I'm excited to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun for everybody else. See how everybody else is stacking up.
Wow.
But yeah, going to be exciting weekend of football coming up. Except Wednesday, for inexplicably, Man City and Aston Villa play on Wednesday, and then Arsenal and Crystal Palace play on Wednesday. I don't know.
That's what I
I don't
was
know if it
just
was a
looking at
tournament.
that.
I don't know why they play on Wednesday, but I'm kind of upset because like I want us to win to clinch the title. I don't want like it's our day off. Like Wednesday's our day off.
Yeah.
And if Arsenal lose, we clinch the title and we're just like sitting there. I want to be with the boys at BD Riley's. I want to be with my Reds. I want to start singing. I want to start
I
chanting.
see. I
Yeah, I don't want
see.
to be at
That's
I'll
what
be
you're
at work
talking about.
Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
at work Wednesday. So
Well, I can tell you that. I mean, I don't see the odds, but Arsenal playing Crystal Palace. The Champions League wouldn't even be until what is that, like
is it May
9 days
1st,
later?
May 9th? Yeah, May 8th or
Yeah, so
something like that.
they're
Yeah.
playing the 23rd, so they wouldn't. I mean, it's a full. Yeah, it's like almost a full 10 days. They're not going to be resting players, is my point. They will probably win that. I don't think you have anything to worry about. And then we can, you know what? We can party together. I might go with you in my Spurs kit to just say, hey, we gave y'all that one. You know, y'all won the league.
I for that game, I don't know if you'll be allowed in. Sometimes they don't allow people. Well, just don't wear your Spurs kit. I think you'll be fine.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't actually go in good faith, but I think that if I was a Spurs fan going there and I knew that my team was going to lose, then it would be fine. It would be fine. It's like this he's not coming to talk shit. He's coming to enjoy it. Like he's hanging out with the boys. But I get the point because it happens. Yeah, I know. If they win, I would probably just walk out like, that would surprise everybody if that actually happened. As you see, Spurs just lost to Forest. But let's jump into the match though that we were talking about, Vic.
We were talking about this was our actually match to watch for this past weekend on our look ahead. But it was Aston Villa and Newcastle. We were expecting a really good game, not the routing that it was by Aston Villa, but tell us a little bit more about this weekend's game.
Yeah, it was actually really odd to see Newcastle go down so easily, but I mean, we kind of knew that it was going to be bad right off the jump because Aston Villa scored within the first minute of the match. The clock hadn't even hit the full minute yet, and they already scored. Ollie Watkins' deflected shot goes in and basically told us that Villa would have all the luck that day, and it pretty much was how it played out. All that said, though, Newcastle did get the equalizer, and it went into the half. Excuse me, that was weird. It was like a weird burp thing. But anyway, went into the half, tied at 1 apiece. But after the half, in the second half alone, Villa had 3 unanswered goals, and none better than Onana's corner curler. I think this guy used to play for some no-name team, and now he's out here banging in great goals, all over the place for a great team. So it's 5 straight wins for Villa, and they are flying. The win makes it extra interesting for those 5 Champions League spots as we just talked about. Only 3 points separates third from 7th, and Forest, I mean, they may be in there for a lock. I mean, they definitely beat Spurs today, but those other spots are up for grabs, and it's going to be very, very interesting. Newcastle's position is no longer rock solid, though, Vic. That's the main thing that I will say from this match, because them losing it didn't really have too much of a souring, if you will. But the fact that they no longer have that gap, all these teams have to play it out to the max until the end of the season, because there's probably about, 6 places up for grabs. Let's say 5 places up for grabs. And there's about 7 teams that are playing or vying for those spots. So there's going to be a lot of jockeying for position going on. And I'm excited to watch it. Some people, their team's already at the top. They're not going to worry about any of this. But for me personally, a team at the bottom of the table, hey, let's see how it plays out for the top of the table. You know what I mean? Be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. Again, I still have a vested interest being a hater. I need Manchester to lose everything. So I'm also looking at that, I promise you. So it's going to be interesting. I'll be rooting against Man City for this entire time. And I want to see them, as the hater in me, do bad. Just to see what it's like, just to see what it's like. Didn't everybody here, for everybody here that's tuning in and watch football, didn't y'all want to know what it was like if Brady and the Patriots just sucked for a season? Like, wouldn't that be awesome? That would have been awesome. That would have been great. That's what we're hoping for.
The only way that happened is Brady left. So
yeah, left or got injured, messed up his leg.
Oh yeah, he did get injured that one season.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, well, I think that's it, Vic. Look at us, 44 minutes.
Flying
take us
through
home.
it. Yeah.
I know.
I don't want to take up much of your time, everyone. Please just like and subscribe is the best way to promote us. Thank you for spending time with us and follow us on our socials. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast except Twitch. Not Twitter, Twitter, except Twitter,
Say, we got
except
a Twitch?
TikTok. Yeah, we do have a Twitch actually. Everything is at they are at No Biz Sock Pod for Twitter and TikTok. Everyone, enjoy the football. We will talk to you soon, and thanks for tuning in.
Peace.